This is Shubhro sir from Calcutta. In the previous videos, I taught you probability up to binomial distributions. If you guys want to know more about probability, don't hesitate to email me at my email address mentioned in the description box. Also, you can comment me which section you want to learn. Right now, my target is to build a concept on set theory and go in its historical background and depth. It's an important portion of abstract algebra. So let's start. So first we can say that set theory is a branch of mathematical logic that studies sets. The modern set theory was initiated by George Cantor and Richard Dedekind in the year 1870s. It was commonly employed as a foundational system for mathematics. Beyond its foundational role, a set theory is a branch of abstract algebra in its own right with an active research community. However, set theory was founded by a single paper in 1874 by George Cantor in the article namely on a property of the collection of all real numbers, all real algebraic numbers. Actually, the meeting between George Cantor and Richard Dedekind in the year 1872 influenced Cantor's thinking, which helped him to publish his article. According to Cantor, a set is a well-defined collection of distinct objects or elements of our perception or of our thought to be conceived as a whole. The definition actually meant a set S is a collection of objects or elements which is to be regarded as a single entity. A set S is comprised of distinct objects or elements, and if A be an object of S, then we can write it as A belongs to S, where the sign this means belongs to that is A belongs to the set S. And the third condition is a set is well defined, means that if S is a set and A is an element, then either A is definitely in S, that means A belongs to S, or A is definitely not in S, that means A does not belong to S. This sign means does not belong to. Set is denoted by the second bracket with the elements of it in the bracket. There are some familiar notations, set notations, which are usual notations worldwide. First one is n, which means the set of all natural numbers. That means 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. The second one is z, which means the set of all integers. Integers has three parts. First one is negative, second one is positive, and third one is 0. So negative part means -1, -2, -3 up to -infinity. The positive part means +1, +2, +3 up to +infinity. And the third one is 0. Now we can see that the positive integer, that means 1, 2 up to infinity, this is actually nothing but the natural numbers, the set of all natural numbers. So we can write that the positive integers means the set of all natural numbers. Now the positive integers can be denoted as z plus, negative integer can be denoted as z minus. So actually this positive integer means the set of all natural numbers. Next one is q. Q means the set of all rational numbers. Now what is a rational number? The numbers which can be expressed as p by q form, where p and q both are integers and q is not equal to 0. So all the numbers which can be expressed as p by q form, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0, they all are rational numbers. Now this rational number also has three parts. First one is q plus, that means positive rational numbers. Second one is the set of all negative rational numbers, and the third part is 0. Next portion is set of all real numbers, which can be expressed and denoted by R. This has also three parts: set of all real numbers, which positive real numbers, set of all negative real numbers, and 0. Next one is the set of all complex numbers. Now I will describe this one by a picture. Smallest part of a real number is natural numbers, that means 1 to infinity, 1 up to infinity, and the second part is set of all integers, which is greater than natural numbers, because natural number means 1 to infinity and z means 1 to infinity, minus 1 to minus infinity, and 0. So z is greater than natural number. Now z and natural number all consists in rational numbers, because rational number is greater, and irrational numbers, which is denoted by q complement. I'll describe the complement part later. Now just remember this sign. It is denoted by q complement. That means irrational numbers. So all rational, irrational, integer and natural number all are actually a real number, and the complex number is another part. So I will not describe that complex number part here. Now a set can be represented commonly by three forms. The first one is statement form. The representation of sets in which well-defined description of elements of the set is given and the same are enclosed by second brackets is called statement form. Example, the set of all odd numbers less than 7 can be denoted as this one. In a second bracket we can write only odd numbers less than 7. So this is the statement form. The second one is a form or tabular form. The representation of sets in which elements of the set are listed within the pair of second brackets and are separated by commas is called roster form or tabular form. The set of all odd numbers less than 7 can be written as 1, 3 and 5 in the second bracket, because the odd numbers less than 7 are 1, 3 and 5, nothing else. The third one is, the third form of representation is the set builder form. The representation in which the characteristic or property each of the elements of the set obeys is expressed by a statement is known as the set builder form or method. In this form or of representation, each of the elements of the set is described by using a variable, say x, which is followed by a symbol such that, or such that can be written as this. So basically this symbol means such that. This is also such that, which is the notation of such that. Then we can write the property possessed by the elements of the set and enclose the whole description in the second bracket. We'll learn the sets of different types. The first one is null set, or it is also said empty set or void set. A set containing no element is called a null set. It is denoted by this second bracket, and between that it's empty, so it's called a null set. Or it is also denoted by phi. This sign is called phi. The second property is singleton set. A set containing only one element is called a singleton set. And we can see this example. There is only one element between this second brackets. It is also an example of singleton set, and between the second brackets there is an alphabet, so it is an also singleton set example, etc. Third type is finite set. A set is said to be a finite set if either it is a null set or it contains a finite number of elements. Example, the colors of a rainbow. There are only 7 colors in a rainbow, so it is a finite set. The second one is x, such that x belongs to natural number and x is less than 7. So there are finite elements in the set. This one, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 6 elements in this set. Now also the set of all odd numbers from 1 to 99. So this is also a finite set because we know the upper bound, we know the lower bound. So it is a finite set. Infinite set. A set containing infinite number of elements is called an infinite set. So, for example, we can say the set of all natural numbers is an infinite set because we know the lower bound of it, it's 1, but we don't know the upper bound, it's up to infinity. So it's an infinite set. The set of all even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8 up to infinity is also an infinite set because it contains infinite number of elements, etc. But here we have to know that some infinite sets cannot be represented by roster form, but it can be represented as other two forms. For example, we can say that set of all real numbers, it can be represented by this form, the first one, which we said the statement form. The second one is expressed as set builder form, but we cannot express this one in roster form because the elements of the set do not follow any particular pattern. The next one is subset. If two sets A and B are such that each element of B is an element of A, then B is said to be a subset of A, and it is denoted by B subset of A. This one, this sign is actually the sign of subset. That means some element X which belongs to B, it implies that X is also in A. Then actually B is a subset of A. Now we can say this example, A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a set A, and it is a set B where which contains 1, 2 and 3. Then all the elements of B are in A, so B is a subset of A. Type is equal set. Two sets A and B are such that each element of A is an element of B, and also each element of B is an element of A. That means A is a subset of B and also B is a subset of A. Then we can say that A is equal to B. That means A and B are equal sets. It is denoted by A is equal to B. We can say this example, A equal to 2 and 3. There are two elements in the set A, and B the set X such that X is the root of this equation, x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Then the root, we can find the root of this equation, x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. That means x square minus 3x minus 2x plus 6 equal to 0. That means x minus 2 and x minus 3 equal to 0. So the roots of this equation, x equal to 2 and 3. So actually B is a set contains only two elements, 2 and 3. So A is also 2 and A is also a set which contains 2 and 3. So that means A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. So A is equal to B. So A and B are equal sets. The next one is proper subset. A set A is said to be a proper subset of B if it satisfies these two conditions. The first condition is A is a subset of B. The second condition is there exists. This sign means there exists. There exists at least one element in B which is not an element of A. That means X is an element of B, but X is not an element of A. That means X does not belong to A. Then we can say that A is a proper subset of B. This sign means the proper subset. Next one is superset. In superset also these two conditions must be held, and then we can say that B is a superset of A, which means B is a superset of A. So this one is superset. One is universal set. The set which is a superset of all the sets in this universe is called the universal set. That means it is the greatest set of this universe. It is usually denoted by capital U or capital S. Two sets A and B are said to be an equivalent set if both of them have the same number of elements. Then that means the cardinal number of A is equal to the cardinal number of B. Then you can say that A and B are equivalent sets. So this is the sign for equivalent sets. What a cardinal number of set means? The number of distinct elements of a finite set A is actually the cardinal number of that set A. It is actually denoted by n of A, small n in the bracket A. Now A is a set that contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So the cardinal number of the set A is 5. Also B is a set which contains A, B, C, D, E. That means there are 5 elements, so cardinal number of B is also 5. Now cardinal number of A and cardinal number of B are equal. That means A and B are equivalent sets. One is disjoint sets. Two sets A and B are said to be disjoint sets if they don't have any common element. Suppose A is a set which contains 1, 2, 3, B is another set which contains 4, 5 and 6. So there are no common elements in A and B. So A and B are disjoint sets. Next one is overlapping sets. Two sets A and B are said to be overlapping sets if there exists at least one common element in them. Suppose A is a set which contains ABCD and B is another set which contains all vowels in the English alphabets. Then small a is in capital A set, and also small a belongs to capital B set. So A is a common element. That means A and B are overlapping sets. The next one is power set. Suppose AB a set suppose AB a set, then the set consisting of all the subsets of A is called the power set of A. Suppose A is 1, 2 and 3. Then the power set of A is denoted by P of A, which contains all the subsets of the set A. Now phi, that means the null set, as we said before, null set is a subset of all kind of sets. So null set can be a subset of A, another subset 1, singleton set 1, singleton set 2, singleton set 3, 1, 2 can be another subset, 1, 3 can be a subset, 2, 3 can be a subset, also 1, 2, 3 itself can be also a subset. So the set containing all the subsets of the set A is called the power set of A. Now we will learn some operations on set. The first one is union of two sets. Let A and B be two sets. Then the union of A and B is denoted by A union B, AUB. That means A union B, which is defined by A union B equals to actually X such that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. That means actually the A union B contains all the elements of A and B. Suppose A is a set 1, 2 which contains 3 elements 1, 2 and 3. B is another set which contains 3, 4 and 5, then A union B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which contains all the elements of A and B, all the distinct elements of A and B. Next one is intersection of two sets. Let A and B be two sets, then the intersection of A and B is denoted by A intersection B. This sign is the sign of intersection, and it is defined by A intersection B is equal to X such that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. That means A intersection B contains all the common elements of A and B. Let's see an example. A is equal to a set containing 3 elements 1, 2 and 3. B is a set containing 3 elements 3, 4 and 5. So in A and B there is only one common element, which is 3. So A intersection B is the singleton set 3. Next one is complement of a set. We denoted a notation Q complement, which I said that it is the set of all irrational numbers. Now what is the complement means? Complement of a set means let A be a subset of a universal set U. A is a subset of a universal set U. Then the complement of A is denoted by this sign, or A complement or A bar, A dash, A complement or A bar. That means X such that X X belongs to the universal set U, but X does not belong to the set A. Let's have an example. Suppose the universal set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the set A is 1, 2, 3. Then the A complement is equal to the set containing all the elements of the universal set U, which are not the elements of the set A. Then we can write all the elements 4 and 5 which are not the elements of the set A. Now the next one is the difference between two sets. Let A and B be two sets, then the difference between A and B is denoted by A minus B, which is equal to the A intersection B complements. That means an element X which belongs to A but it does not belong to B. Let A be a set which contains 3 elements 1, 2, 3, B be another set which contains 3, 4, 5. Then A minus B is equal to actually nothing but X such that X belongs to A but X does not belong to B. That means A intersection B complement. A means the set 1, 2, 3 intersection. B complement means the elements which are not in B. That means the 1, 2 is the only elements which does not belong to B. So now the union of these two sets will be 1, 2. This set. So A minus B actually 1, 2. Similarly, we can find the set B minus A, which means B intersection A complement. That means B, the set B means 3, 4, 5. Intersection, the set A complement means only 1 and 2. That means this is also A complement means 4 and 5. So actually the intersection of these two sets are 4, 5. Next one is symmetric difference. Let A and B are two sets. Then the symmetric difference of A and B is denoted by this sign A symmetric difference B, which means A minus B union of B minus A, which is actually equal to A intersection B complement union B intersection A complement. That means X such that X belongs to A but X does not belong to B, or X belongs to B but X does not belong to A. Let's see an example of it. Suppose A is a set 1, 2, 3 which contains 3 elements 1, 2 and 3. B is another set which contains 3 elements 3, 4 and 5. Then the symmetric difference between A and B is equal to we can see from this formula. Then A intersection B complement we can find from the previous example, it's 1 and 2. B intersection A complement means from the previous example it's 4 and 5. Now the union of these two sets is 1, 2, 4, 5. So the symmetric difference of A and B is 1, 2, 4, 5. Next portion is Venn diagram. The figures by which the operations on sets are presented in a befitting manner are known as Venn diagram. The method of Venn diagram is in Venn diagram the universal set is actually expressed by a rectangle, and all the subsets of universal set are expressed by circles, which will be shaded if required. So let's not make it too critical. Let's go to the example. We have seen the formula of unions of two sets. Now we will express this union of two sets by Venn diagram. Suppose A and B be two sets in a universal set U. Now A union B means all the elements in A union B means the elements of A and B. That means we can shade all the portion of A and B. If A and B are two disjoint sets in the universal set U, this is A, this is B, then we can also shade the whole portion of A and B. So A union B means the whole portion of A and B. Intersection B can also be expressed as this Venn diagram. Suppose A and B be two sets in the universal set U, then the common portion of A and B will be the A intersection B portion. So the mid portion of A and B is the A intersection B portion. So it is the Venn diagram of A intersection B. Now we can also express our disjoint sets by this Venn diagram. Suppose A and B be two sets in the universal set U, then A and B has no common element in them. That means that there is no common portion between A and B. That means A and B are two disjoint sets. Now we can also find the difference between two sets A and B. Suppose this is A and this is B in the universal set U. Then A minus B will be A intersection B complement. Now the question is, what is B complement? This is nothing but the B portion. B complement means the portion which contains which is except of B. That means this portion is the complement of B, which contains all the elements except B. So A intersection B complements means this portion. That means this portion is the A minus B portion. Also, this is A, this is B, this is universal set U. This portion is nothing but B intersection A complement. That means B minus A portion. Also define the complement of a set by Venn diagram. This is a universal set, this is the set A. Now the complement of A means all the elements in universal set U except in A. That means the whole portion except A is the A complement. So this is the set A, and the whole portion except A is the A complement. The symmetric difference. This is A, this is B in the universal set U. Then the symmetric difference means A intersection B complement, that means this portion, union B intersection A complement, that means this portion. So the shaded portion of this picture is the A symmetric difference B. So guys, my video is over today. In my next video I'll teach you relations and mapping. Keep following my videos, and obviously like, share and subscribe if not done yet. Thank you.